I've long had a problem with false copyright claims and abuse of DMCA and all of this rights abuse and abuse of the law that's going on with YouTube, and every few years I come face to face with this shit and I have a fight on my hands. And I had one again on August the 16th, so that's 3 weeks ago now. And it happened because I uploaded an archive of a gaming session where I just incidentally on my second monitor was checking out Total War soundtracks by Jeff Van Dyke. Because Creative Assembly had uploaded a video where they were playing some of the old hits as background music for their Shogun 2 coverage that they started doing recently, they started to reuse some of these really old tracks that are not in Shogun 2 or even Shogun 1 but are in the Shogun 1 demo. So one of the tracks is I don't know if it's even got a name, but I'm gonna find it. Alright, so it's this track here. So this is from the Shogun 1 demo, and it didn't make the cut for the full game for Shogun 1, because there's I think parts of it did. Like, see this here? This segment is part of the intro music when you launch the game or even launch the demo. This is my first introduction to all of Total War. This is really memorable, and here it goes. Yo! Yep, so when I was playing the PC Gamer magazine Shogun 1 demo when I was 8, I heard this as soon as I launched Shogun 1 for the first time. It's one of those things that you just don't forget. It's like, I think this is one of my introductions to good soundtrack and scoring in a game, on top of something like Caesar 3, or even Red Alert 1 with the Hell March. But this was something else. This is some Oriental style, this is my introduction to Japanese culture. See this part here? This is when it becomes unfamiliar. So this is the intro part, and I think this just loops after the big drum, Like there. I think in the Shogun 1 demo it goes quiet here and then it just loops. Yeah, but then it goes into this. And I think I remember this in the Shogun 1 demo from the battles. So once again, this is made by Jeff Van Dyke, but if you click show more, you see a problem here, because it says Sven Christiansen. What the fuck is that? Who the hell is that? And if you Google that name and try and find any match with Shogun 1, Total War, Creative Assembly, EA, Sega, you find nothing. There's no hits. This should not be here. This is just bullshit. And then you get to this part here. So it goes on ambiently for a little while. So I was playing this on my second monitor while I was doing a gaming session with friends, just to sort of reminisce and figure out why I'm hearing this part that comes up here. Get ready. Get ready. Here it goes. Down, 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 down. And I remember thinking this sounded really cool as well. I heard this when I was 8, and I didn't hear it for decades until just recently, so... Because I just had never played the Shogun 1 demo ever again after I had access to the full game, it's just not something you do, so it's just one of those memories that are stuck from when you're 8. That's why I was looking into this, because it had been spurred on me again recently by the Creative Assembly doing that video. So I went looking for this and found it. Yeah, this is like a soaring part that's in the Shogun 1 demo when you've got the trailer for the full game. So you've played the demo, you've gotten to the end of the tutorial, and you've finished the whole demo. So now this starts playing, I think, during a trailer for the full game, and it shows you the camera panning over entire battlefields full of way more men and units than you had just seen. So it's really inspiring, this part. Like, it was well done. Yeah, so this was a cool track. Jeff Van Dyke composed this in the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe just in middle of 99 or something. So this is 26 years old, and it's unambiguously Jeff Van Dyke's work. You can even just tell it fits with the style of all of his other coverage, like the Rome Total War, the Medieval soundtrack. It's got the same sort of feeling to it. It's obviously video game music, that's the whole point. It's meant to fit with a game, and it's perfect for it. People miss Jeff Van Dyke's involvement in every Total War game that hasn't had it. And it's quite a coincidence, because basically all the Total War games that are actually really good and fit with the old style of Total War game, they all have Jeff Van Dyke's scores, and then when he's no longer composing, the games have sort of just lost their way. You know, it's almost like you're getting the best of both. Good games have good soundtracks, and then bad games don't have good soundtracks. So this is matching this with Hiroshima Sven Christiansen. What the fuck is this? 6 years ago. Provided to YouTube by the Orchard Enterprises. Fucking scumbags. They're just joining in with us. They're joining in. Music lovers. And you already probably noticed that he's only got a 2-minute 56 section of this, when this goes on for 4 minutes 12. So what this guy's done is he's just basically stolen a piece of this track and is claiming it's his and is using this company to fucking distribute it for him. And there's going to be more about that later, just wait. So he's just stolen this? What the fuck, 6,000 subscribers for stealing shit? Does he just steal everything? Like, what is this? Such a joke. So this is on YouTube, and he's called it Hiroshima for some weird reason. But there's more, wait. For some reason, he's uploaded this multiple times, and he likes saying Hiroshima for some reason. Look, there's one here with 4 views. There's one here with 42 views. There's one here with 47 views. There's one here with 109 views. Like, what is this shit? Right, let's just get all the Hiroshimas opened, because he's got so many of them. He loves Hiroshimas happening for some reason. Pretty weird. Just Hiroshima maxing. Let's get them all opened up. It's being a bit slow right now. What is this? What is this? What is this? So they're all 2 minutes 56. He's got one from 2019, one from 2020, another one from 2020, a day before and after, my god, and then in October 2018, provided to YouTube by Ditto Music. So there's another scam company enabler on top of the Orchard music. Look at this. Bunch of scammers. My god. Hiroshima music, Ditto music, Ditto music, Ditto music, Ditto music, the Orchard Enterprises. So he used Ditto music to do his scam for a while. Look, trademark 2001, Sven Christiansen. Released on 2015. What a joke. Auto-generated by YouTube. So the Orchard music implicating YouTube in this scam. Look at this. And they all match to Sven Christiansen. Look, so he's uploaded this as the official, and then he's got scam copies all over the place. So he's even leeching views off of the real ones. You know what? There you go. Yeah, I really just hate this scam. But it's not just on YouTube, it extends elsewhere as well. Look at this. Sven Christiansen, 2,500 monthly listeners. And he's just spammed loads of this stuff. He's just absolutely spammed. Look at this, like, there's the scroll bar, it goes down forever. Slow jam. Alright, I need to go down to the bottom for the oldest, because I think that's when he started his scam, by just appreciating... Look, there's a fedora as well, holy shit. Fucking fedora. Tips Fedora Milady. Alright, there's Japan. There's an album called Japan, right? And some of these are greyed out, presumably because there's pending disputes on his right to even have this stuff. Right, let's go through this and find how many are scammed. Look, there's the Shogun Total War influence already. Look, he's already got the shit. Yo! This is stolen as well, and he's just overlaid some bullshit on top of it. So he's totally stolen for number 1 in this playlist. He's stolen from Jeff Van Dyke, and then he's ruined it by just overlaying some crap onto it. What is this? What is this? What the fuck? This should be copyright. I don't know if he would even have grounds, Jeff Van Dyke, to get this taken down, but it's just another shameless rip-off that's ruined. Like, can anyone just take classic music, I don't know, like fucking the Beatles or Beach Boys or Led Zeppelin or whatever, and just take the whole track and then just spam noise over it and then just copyright it and monetize it and then steal views with it and get false matches on it from the original? Can anyone do that? Ruined. Look at this. This is the start of the track that's called Hiroshima there. This is the start of... Let's get it again. Look. This is this Jeff Van Dyke demo music all over again, look. What the fuck is Hiroshima's Crying? Holy shit, 3 minutes 40 as well, so that doesn't work. And then he's got the noise in-game from when there's a unit charging another unit, you know, the horn. So he's got noises of broken glass. Broken glass and screaming and the noise in-game from a unit charging, and that's overlaid on top of the demo music, so he's literally just spamming noise. He's made another abortion. And what is this? Harps and stuff? What is this? And rain? And then he's got some sort of a speech, like one of these has a Roosevelt speech over it as well, you know, the 1941 Pearl Harbor Roosevelt speech. What the this guy is a schizo or something? Or he's, I don't know if you can... I hope he's a schizo and that he's not this malicious, like I hope he's actually just mentally ill. Blade Runner music or something, what is this? Look, he's just cobbling together crap and trying to pass it off as his own or like some sort of an art. It actually says art under a lot of his stuff, art music, like he's fond of the term art music. What is that, electric pianos or something? What is that? This noise? Like what is that? I'm pretty sure I did that on one of those, what is it, VTech electronic keyboards. Like there's a voice for those keyboards that has that sort of electronic organ piano sound. I don't know what that's called right now, but he's just sitting there doing what I could have done when I was 8, with just playing random notes. This here, like this is just garbage as well. So 2 for 2 so far, and it's just stolen from Jeff Van Dyke and made into an abortion, just mangled. This guy just steals shit, and if he's feeling generous, he'll mangle it for you before he tries to pass it off as his own. And now we've got some sort of Gregorian chants or something. Like he's trying to rip off... What's it called again? Sad, dis-moi. What is that? I'm trying to remember the name. He's trying to steal from Enigma with Sadness there, I think. Like this guy I think is from the 90s, so that would fit. Yeah, like that's some sort of 90s sounding fucking Enigma shit that he's trying to do there, so I don't know, maybe that's stolen as well. I don't have the AI tools that him and these companies do to just match things by sound, otherwise I'd be able to say that this was stolen too, but someone out there has probably been stolen with this, at least it's not Jeff Van Dyke. So we can't even play 4 and 5, so far we've got 2 out of 3 as stolen from Jeff Van Dyke. Let's keep going. Alright, that's not Jeff Van Dyke. This is stolen, holy shit. And he's playing two things there at the same time. One there is the battle music as it's about to start, and the other one is when you've lost a battle, and he's called it Kato's Island. What the fuck is that? What the hell does Kato have to do with this? And why have you got two tracks playing at once? Holy shit, what a thief. He's not content with just stealing one thing at a time, like he has to steal two things at the same time and then mangle them together. And what is this? We're 30 seconds in and it's already gone into full abortion mode. What the fuck is this guy doing? That sounds horrible. That is the worst sounding thing so far. I prefer the broken glass. More 90s weird shit there. Like that's some sort of a 90s stealth action movie or something that he's got there. I can't play Kato's Ghost at the moment. We're gonna have to try Spotify or Deezer for... No, try Deezer for this, or we could go to YouTube and figure that out. Kato's Nightmare, right, Hiroshima now. This is the one that I got a copyright match for on YouTube because I dared to reminisce about a video game soundtrack from the year 2000 on my second monitor while gaming with friends. What is this? I think this is stolen as well. I think this sounds quite good and I think there's no way he could have composed this himself, but maybe he would surprise me there. I don't know where this is from. It sounds a little bit familiar. Alright, I don't know. New Day. It's such a dissonant jumble, like this, there's no theme to this, it's just a smoshing together of shit. This might be stolen. I don't know what that is. Alright, so we've got something like half of this whole playlist is just a blatant rip-off and mangling of Jeff Van Dyke's work. This is just one of his albums, by the way, because I think he's spammed fucking hunters. Let's go to his albums and click show all. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's just do a quick scroll through. Like, he's been spamming the shit out of this. He's got so much, and he just reuses the same... I don't know what you call that, a collage sort of thing. Like a waterwork. And he spams this picture as well. Like, he's just got like 3 pictures of himself that he's taken over his whole life, and he's just spamming them. Look at all of this. Like, I'd be really surprised if much of this is original. Like, how do you end up in a position where half of an entire album that you've published to Spotify is basically just plagiarized and stolen? How does that happen, you know? Alright, let's go to Deezer. I was made aware of Deezer by Jeff Van Dyke, by the way. I didn't know he had something going on here as well. I'd heard of Deezer, but I barely knew what it is. I made an account just so I could look at this. Right, let's go down to Japan. Let's go through all of his spam. Like, this is all of his albums on his... Like, 6 fans. Holy shit, man. 6 fans. So I can't even do a Control F yet because it's not loaded. Look at all of this. Alright, let's find Japan. Lost in Japan. That's a rip-off of that film, Lost in Translation with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, with that band Air, that French band. Let's see if he's actually ripped off of, what's it called, Talk Talk or something? I like that soundtrack for Lost in Translation. I think it was used in some ads in the 2000s for like some mobile contract or something. Let's see if he's ripped off. So it's just weird. Lost in Japan, alright. Nah. The fuck is that? Weird. A new world. So weird. Alright, let's find the actual Japan. I think this guy's a weeb. Japan. There we go, there's the album. Okay, so the ones that we couldn't look at on Spotify are called Kato's Back on the Island. What the fuck is that? That sounds like some anime shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then we have another one fading in at 5 seconds. He's reusing the one he already stole from when a battle's been lost in Shogun Total War. And this track that he's actually using is really good. This is the... I'm gonna find it. I like that track. Alright, I found it. This is called Tension 3. And it's not been matched to this Sven guy, so I presume Jeff Van Dyke had to fight back against this guy at some point to get this dealt with. But I really like this track because it's really ominous and it builds slowly and it becomes quite heavy. And then you have this more industrial sort of noise that starts picking up around here while it keeps building. Down, down, down. Around now. Down, down, down. That's really cool, and I even used that myself. And this is the great thing about video game soundtrack rights holders not being really punitive and litigious and chasing after people all the time. It means that you can appreciate the games and make things yourself. Like, I used this here to set the ominous pretext for this video that has 500,000 views almost. See, without this soundtrack, this video would have been shit. And I'm using it properly because I'm using it with the game. I'm just choosing when it starts playing and stops playing and editing around it. I made this in 2013, so I made this 12 years ago. And I like that part as well, because when it finally ends, you've got the guy sitting with his standing fight formation around him while he's in his little chair. I love that part of the game. Sitting in his little chair. So good. Alright, and then the cannons start firing. And that's when there's no music, just because the sheer devastation can just continue. Alright. Yep, so that was a cool video and it got nearly 500,000 views and the soundtrack was really important for that. But then you look at Deezer and this guy's got it here. Look at the state of this. This is not his. This is Jeff Van Dyke's. And look, he's ruined it. He's already got something else that he's also stealing, playing over it. Why is this 6 minutes long as well? What is this? Mangled. He's already mangled it. So he's got 2 things that he's stolen from Jeff Van Dyke, plus another layer of garbage that he's put on top of it. And at about a minute and a half or something, he's just stopped stealing. So he just uses Jeff Van Dyke stuff to open it and get it started strong, and then he starts layering in his own garbage. 6 minutes of this empty noise. Fuck's sake. Alright, mobilise for battle. That sounds blatantly stolen from Jeff Van Dyke. I think this is my first time actually investigating the Deezer, because I was made aware of it late in this whole process after I'd already won against Sven Christiansen and Orator Music, so let's just keep looking. What the fuck is this? That even sounds bad. Oh my god, it's like a... what do you call it? It's a shitty flute sort of dissonance. Like I'm not a musician, so there's some sort of a term for when there's not harmony there in the notes and it just goes off. Like, see that last note? Alright, now the fucking Jeff Van Dyke Shogun 1 soundtrack starts coming with the battle music. And then it's got a Roosevelt speech playing as well.
Premeditated invasion. The American people in their righteous might will win through to
What a joke. And Jeff Van Dyke's already hit these two. He's already gotten this one taken down for opening with 2 stolen pieces and then leading into a third layer that I can't identify. But he's gotten this one taken down as well. And then it starts again with a shitty flute dissonance. That just sounds horrible to my ears, holy shit. Alright, let's find another one. Kato's Ghost. It's gotta be stolen too. Yeah. So that's the other part of the demo track that he's stolen. Let's get it again. Where is it? Shogun demo music. Alright, here we go. There we go! Down. 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 So that's why this got taken down as well, because he stole this. Look at that, it perfectly picks up from when I tabbed out and tabbed down. And what is this? Weird shit already. So it leads into garbage that's stolen. Fucking hell, what a joke. So, half of this album is just stolen from Jeff Van Dyke and has been published on YouTube, Spotify, Deezer. This is disgusting. So I got a copyright match for Hiroshima on this here, and I can actually play where that happened.
Yeah, like he used to be a clan player.
So there's the
Okay,
fucking...
so Tech loves. So the Warhammer player, so...
The guy loves his cav.
Yeah, so I was doing a gaming session with friends and I uploaded this to archive it so that if I want to use it later I can do that without it taking up space on my hard drives in the meantime. And I had 4 minutes of playing through that track matched, and what that means is that if this was an actual video that had used that, I would have had no monetization on this video, and it wouldn't have just meant no monetization, it would have meant the Orchard Music would be stealing all of the money and splitting it with this guy. So can you imagine if my video, where is it? If this video had used a track that had that happen to it, then 435,000 views worth of ad revenue would have been seized and divided up between this scam company and this music thief. So even though I only used it for the first minute of the video to set the stage and build atmosphere, this 5-minute video would have had all of the money stolen. And it would have went to this company. And in this case, this is like 9 hours of gaming, and 4 minutes of it means that all of the video's money is stolen and given to this company. So here's what happens. I had to take action here, and if you don't do something, they automatically win. That's it. If you just don't do anything, they get all the money. And that's what they rely on. They rely on a hit rate with videos stolen and the amount of views they get, giving them free money. So you can either erase song, which basically just means that you mangle your own video. So even though it'll sort of distort the audio, it means that anything else that's going on just sounds horrible. So if you're just playing the game, your voice is going to be all muffled. If you've made an atmospheric, edited video of the game, it's going to just be totally erratic and bizarre. Like, see if that soundtrack was erased from my Cannon Massacre video, it would have just ruined the video. So you either ruin the video, let a company steal all the money, replace the song, which just deletes all the audio, and you can't even fit the thing in properly. I think this just mangles the entire video's audio as well. Like, I think it mutes the whole video, and then the part that you replace, you'd have to just find something that's royalty free that fits, and you can maybe get a good match, sort of, but it's gonna just ruin the video. Or you can trim out this segment, which means that the entire part of the video would have to be deleted. So it's just a joke. None of these are real options. All you can do is dispute. And it says here, dispute a claim if you have necessary rights to the content, which you do, because it's not being... Like, Jeff Van Dyke is being a decent person here, a decent guy, and he's letting people use the music for videos that are related to the game, or even if they just want to talk about Total War, I think, and have it playing in the background, because it gets people interested in the music. I think he's on this side of people that appreciate the music should be allowed to just appreciate it, and it's good for everyone in the long run. I'm quite sure that's the position he takes, because he's not been going after people for just playing the game or doing anything else. Like, there's some sort of an understanding there that guy has, that this thief and this thief company don't give a shit about, because they're just stepping in, trampling all over that understanding and just mangling people's videos and stealing their money. So you dispute if you have the rights. Let's get the text again so I can keep reading that. This is something I had to do on the 16th of August. Dispute a claim if you have necessary rights or other valid reasons. It takes up to 30 days for a final resolution from the claimant. And this is the thing. See, when these companies have been really punitive, they will just wait the whole 30 days and then at the last minute they'll escalate again, just to sort of stretch out and wear you down, or hope that you forget, or that you get busy, or that you have a family emergency or something and that you can't respond in time. They're scumbags. Your channel won't receive a strike if your dispute gets rejected. So this is the first stage where it's trying to get a confrontation between the two parties to see if it can be resolved that way without escalating. So it's all about grace periods. So I'm going to bother to dispute this, because I'm not going to have a fake claim sitting on my channel from fraudsters and scammers. Processing time 30 days. When can I dispute the claim? Dispute if you have necessary rights, blah blah blah. Submit the dispute, fill out the form carefully so we'll have everything we need to start the process. And I think YouTube, with AI assistance, automates this whole stage. Then the claimant gets to review it. So they've already filed a bad faith fucking match, probably using heavy AI assistance, the pieces of shit. So they get to review it again. If your dispute's rejected, the claim will remain on your video. Yeah, or let it expire. So they have 30 days and they have to respond, or it expires and you win. Final outcome: if your dispute is rejected by the claimant, the claim will remain on your video. If you're still confident the claim is invalid, which I obviously am, so it's a joke that we have this 30-day period at all, you may be able to appeal the decision. Impact on video: if both you and the claimant are trying to monetize the video, will continue monetization and release the earnings to the appropriate party when the dispute is resolved. This is the incentive for people to fight for their rights. But if, like in this case, I don't have any monetization on the video, it's just an archive at this stage, so it's all about principle for me here, and not letting them get away with this. Okay, so here's what it says here: original content. The content claimed in my video is my original content and I own all the rights to it. This isn't even true, because it's Jeff Van Dyke that owns the rights, but in a sense I'm sort of advocating for him by even bothering to do this. So you have to check this. You've got to check this, because if you don't, YouTube is going to assume that they can just reject your claim outright. You have to check this, even though it might not necessarily apply. It's a joke. It's original content in the sense that it's basically public domain. It's de facto, even if not de jure, public domain, because anyone can use this stuff with their videos and they won't get hit with any strikes from the actual holders. So in that sense, you have to just have this checked. These are all fake reasons, by the way. You're not allowed to use these because YouTube will just reject them. License. I have permission or license to use the content claimed in my video. If you were to agree that with the rights holders, you would have to then provide the written permission that they gave you. You would have to show the license to YouTube, and they would have to look at that, but this is not relevant here. Copyright exceptions such as fair use. There's not been any transformation done. This is probably what the fucking thief does to get his stolen, mangled shit uploaded to Spotify and Deezer. You know, all the manglings with the Roosevelt speeches and all the overlayering with garbage. He probably tries to use this and has been getting away with it so far. And it's not public domain, because I think it's still the property, the intellectual property of Jeff Van Dyke. So you have to just click original content. These are not good reasons. I gave credit, people do this. I'm not making money, it doesn't matter. Own a copy of the song or video, it doesn't matter. So these are all traps here. It used to allow you to try and check these boxes, but now it just basically tells you up front that these are fake reasons that only, rubes try and pass off to avoid, to get out of this stuff. Alright, so you have to You look at all this stuff you have to go through to confirm that everything is yours. Even if you filmed or edited the video yourself, think about whether you include someone else's work. Did you record from a TV screen or include other songs? If so, the video is entirely original content. Even brief uses may be legitimately claimed. Keep in mind that short use of music can be subject to copyright. Copyright owners may also have the right to claim the use of their music, even if it's not the focus of the video. See, when I was playing the tracks in part, just small pieces of them, I think that's fair use, because I'm trying to use it to make a point that is in public interest, educational, and even upholding copyright. Edifying on the laws and misuse of the laws. All this legislation, the DMCA Act of 1998, the US Copyright Act of 1986, 1988. I'm trying to educate on this, and I'm using this as an actual case study here. So that's basically what this whole video is. It's about exposing scammers and fraudsters and trying to educate people. So I would be able to appeal fair use with using those pieces there to show this. Musicians are usually represented by companies like record labels or music distributors. You may want to research the company that claimed your video if you don't recognise their name. This is something everyone should be doing, by the way. Because the moment you see the Orchard music, you should have alarm bells flaring, and you should be immediately figuring out if this is yet another the Orchard music scam on behalf of a thief, which it is in this case, as we've established conclusively. If it's your song, the distributor may work with may have claimed your video. Before you dispute, review the terms of your contract. The content claimed in my video is my original creation and doesn't include anyone else's work. I can basically say that because I'm advocating for Jeff Van Dyke here, and I'm basically on his side and representing him with fighting back against this person that's stolen this from him. That's how I think about it, and I think if this escalated, that's what it would be seen as in the eyes of the law, ultimately, because of the circumstances that we have here. Alright, and now you have to type out 2,000 characters of bullshit, and usually you would want to use a lawyer, a solicitor, copyright lawyer to fill out this for you and make sure that you're getting everything right, but you can pretty much just wing this. I didn't even use AI to do this, I just did this from memory because I've had to do it so much over the years. So, you have to establish the circumstances around what's happened here and why there's injustice going on. Why you're in the right. So I just start out with saying this is a blatantly fraudulent claim from yet another music thief. This is my recording on my screen from when I was doing this on 16th of August, so 3 weeks ago. This is a blatantly fraudulent claim from yet another music thief that has fraudulently claimed distribution rights using the stolen work, using the perpetual fraud facilitator known as Orchard Music. Yep. Exactly. So that's a good first paragraph right there. Distribution rights is something that isn't theirs using the perpetual fraud facilitator known as Orchard Music, who just goes along with facilitating these claims because it makes them money, which is exactly what it is. This is blatant fraud, which it absolutely is. We've established beyond all doubts that this work has nothing to do with this thief. This is all Jeff Van Dyke, and it sometimes gets mangled. This is blatant fraud from both parties involved. Alright, first of all, that shit even being under that guy's name on all these accounts, Spotify, Deezer, YouTube, that should never happen. That guy is a scumbag for even allowing that to happen. What is he playing at? Is he actually just a schizo LARPer that thinks he can get away with this? And then you've got the Orchard Music backing up a schizo and enabling a schizo and even making money off of doing it. And there's no legal consequences for them doing this. I long for the day when there's a class action lawsuit and someone takes them to court and they have to just give out reparations to all of these people that they've stolen money from. First of all, they have to give reparations to the musicians like Jeff Van Dyke, without whom none of this would happen. Because that guy would have no one to steal from. And also to YouTubers that are using those people's work to make videos, to be creative and actually deploy it in a way that's beneficial for both the musicians and themselves. We have a nice, healthy, fucking mutually beneficial arrangement going on between YouTubers, creative YouTubers and musicians. We're working together to make things that have an added value. And then we have these scam companies that are just fucking shoehorning themselves right in the middle and are just ruining it with all this shit. I long for the day that this just gets absolutely stomped on and these people get hammered. My video does not infringe on the claim copyright. Understand that the claimant will be able to review my video and dispute rationale. Understand that filing fraudulent disputes may result in termination of my YouTube account. So I'm running all these gauntlets. What if there's a bug in the system and my account gets terminated? What if I don't fill it in absolutely perfectly and YouTube gets annoyed and decide to terminate my account? You know, I'm taking all these risks just to bat this shit back. And then I've got to sign my name there, which I do, of course. And seeing as I'm going to have to sign my name, I decide to improve this. Perpetual fraud facilitator organisation known as Orchard Music, who just goes along with facilitating these claims because it makes them money when people don't notice. This is blatant fraud from both parties involved, and there should be legal consequences from mass claiming. There should be legal consequences from mass claiming rights to things that have nothing, that aren't theirs, and hoping they can just achieve a hit rate on these sorts of claims with no consequences for the constant non-stop failures from these sorts of pushbacks I'm doing right now. Alright, so that's my claim. And I know that the Orchard Music is probably going to eventually have to review this, so I wanted to make it quite personal, while at the same time establishing this in the eyes of YouTube. So this is a justified claim that I'm doing, a counterclaim, and then I submit. That's what I submitted. Disputes will be sent to the claimant for review. YouTube does not review content ID disputes. The claimant now has 30 days to review your dispute. If they do not respond within 30 days, the claim will be released automatically. We'll send you an email to let you know the outcome. So that was on the 16th of August at 2 PM. That's when I did this, and they now have to actually read this. And I can actually tell you what happens right now. Your dispute has been reviewed. After reviewing your dispute, the Orchard Music has decided that their copyright claim is still valid. Scumbags. This is really bad. That was 2 days ago. This is really bad because it means either the Orchard Music didn't even look at my complaint whatsoever. They couldn't even just do the research that I did to figure out this guy's a scammer and that they were enabling him, or they looked at it and they maliciously upheld this in bad faith, which makes them liable. They are engaging in fraud, mass fraud. That's what this is. So now we go over to the next stage of this, which is my claim again. Alright, so here it is. Dispute rejected. The video can't be monetized. The copyright claims on your video don't affect your channel. This is not a copyright strike. The copyright claims on your video don't... Yeah. So, it's been disputed. So, I need to... Let's see if I click see details. No. I just go straight to appeal. Appeal to the rejected dispute decision if you still believe you have rights to the content. The claimant will review your appeal within 7 days. Rejected appeals may result in a copyright strike. So now the time window, the grace period, has been reduced to 7 days, and I'm risking a copyright strike on my channel and termination of my channel if YouTube decides that this is in bad faith. This is disgusting what I'm having to deal with here because of this blatant fraud. And then when you click on learn more, it gives you this diagram here. This is what happens. Check your channel's ability on on your channel features page. Owners of copyrighted content within your video may request a takedown at any time. Let's see if there's consequences here. Let's see if I scroll down. This was on the 3rd of September. Keep in mind you should only appeal if you're confident that you have all necessary rights to use the claimed content. Repeated or malicious abuse of the appeals process can result in losing the eligibility to appeal or other penalties against your video or channel. Alright, and then I scroll down. If both you or the claimant try and monetize, blah blah blah, this again. Understand the risks of filing an appeal and want to proceed. So even YouTube is telling you at this point there are risks involved. You're running gauntlets to even defend yourself here, because it's just going to assume that they're right if you don't do something. They're not taking any risks, they're a big company. I'm the one having to take the risks here, it's totally lopsided. And then you've got to fill in your legal name, your street address, your email, your city, your country, your state or province, and your postcode. This is disgusting what you have to deal with here. Alright, so I had to do that. This scumbag company now has all of my details, and that's so that they can file a claim in court. They can take you to court by you giving them your details. That's what that means. You're now risking going to court on top of risking action from YouTube in terms of giving you a copyright strike, or like, see, after I fill in this and submit it, two things happen here. Either the Orchard Music backs down, pussies out, gives up, admits that the whole thing was fraud all along, effectively, implicitly admitting that they were engaging in fraud by giving up, or you get taken to court. That's what this means. Either they take you to court or they admit that they were engaging in fraud this whole time and just wasting my time, causing me unnecessary stress and wasting my time. That's what this means. That's what happens when you escalate here. You've anteed up, you're doubling down, and now it's getting serious. That's what this means. You get one chance at fucking around that lasts 30 days, and then it's all in on both sides. It's a joke. This is an absolute joke, and they have no consequences for backing down. They did the one escalation, and then it's up to you to go all in with your chips. You know, like you're the one that has to go all in first, as well. Like you, as the one that's not engaging in fraud and not stealing anything and are standing up for the actual rights holders. You're the one that has to go all in. You have to play Russian roulette and take the shot first against your own head. That's what this means. It's disgusting. Why should the content ID claim be released required? Look at this. I am aware that there may be adverse legal consequences if I make a false allegation through this process. Look at this. I understand that the personal contact information I've provided will be shared with the claimant. That's so that they can go to their fucking legal department and file something in court against you. I understand that if the claimant responds to my appeal by requesting removal of my video and YouTube determines that the request meets legal requirements, my video will be removed and a copyright strike will be given to my account. If I receive 3 copyright strikes, my account may be terminated. Look at that. What a disgusting joke. Alright, so I typed this out into my second monitor, and I'm gonna read this out. Okay, so reaffirming that this is a blatantly fraudulent claim from the infamously established copy fraud abusers, the Orchard Music. Let's see if I can scroll down and see what else I write in here, because there's 1,200 characters worth of dispute. Alright, so I'm gonna read what I put there. Reaffirming that this is a blatantly fraudulent claim from the infamously established copy fraud abusers, the Orchard Music. The claimant has no relation or involvement whatsoever with the creator of the work in question. The entity Sven Christiansen has stolen a small piece of an original work by Jeff Van Dyke, who scored the soundtrack for a game called Shogun 1. The original work by Jeff Van Dyke that was released in 2000 in the game Shogun Total War, link to the original that I played earlier. Proof the Sven is a thief and is claiming creative involvement in something they had nothing to do with by stealing and failing to even remotely transform a section of it, link to the Spotify track. By recklessly, negligently, or maliciously upholding a blatantly fraudulent claim in bad faith, the Orchard Music is causing me damages and is liable under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act of 1998. If the Orchard Music can demonstrate even a hint of involvement of the person Sven Christiansen with the original work, Jeff Van Dyke or Shogun 1, I'll reconsider my position. I've already forwarded all of the details of this copy fraud to Jeff. That's what I wrote in there. So that's me even invoking the original creator that holds the rights to this, for which the soundtrack is freely what was it I typed in here? This is my editing after I've typed up what I intend to use and pasted in. For which the soundtrack is not subject to copyright policing by the owners, the actual owners. So I've demonstrated beyond all shadow of a doubt is not subject to any copyright policing. Yep, that's it there. 1,300 characters. You only have 2,000 characters, by the way, to dispute this, which is not even remotely enough. I can imagine if you get an actual solicitor involved here, or the company, or the Creative Assembly, or the creative subsidiary, the Creative Assembly, or the holding company, Sega, I'll reconsider my position. I've already forwarded all of this copy fraud to Jeff. All the details of this copy fraud to Jeff himself. The creator, no, did I go with that? The composer himself. Directly, yeah. This will go to the claimant for review. The actual composer. Oh my god. I think I did well with this, like I worded it perfectly. Orchard Music had to actually fucking read this once again, and this is me doubling down and showing I'm serious. Cause see if this went to court, they would get their fucking arse wiped with them. See, by even hinting that I've involved the actual distributor, that would have made them shit themselves. And it's really telling that this company, the Orchard Music, after 2 days has not revoked the distribution to this scammer thief Sven Christiansen. You can still view it on YouTube, Spotify, Deezer, it's all still there. The ones that are greyed out have been greyed out this entire time, presumably for months or years. So they've admitted that this is fraud. They've admitted they've seen what I've written and they've realised I'm right, and they haven't revoked distribution claims on it. So they're still making money off of this elsewhere on YouTube. It's disgusting. Look at this. I'm running like 3 different gauntlets here, and I've had to sign that as well with my name once again. I've had to sign this with my name. I've had to put my electronic signature. A small piece of a whole original work. That also shows the mangling, you know, the knowing malicious stealing that's been happening, because you don't accidentally trim out a segment where there's segments in the track, you know, where it changes into sections. You don't knowingly just edit, trim around that and steal that part. It's even abrupt. It's even abrupt with the... It's even poorly edited when... It's even poorly edited with an abrupt starting section. Yeah. So it doesn't even fade in properly, you know? Like he's not... It's totally blatant with an abrupt beginning. So this goes straight to the Orchard Music, and a human reviews this. A human has to review this. Surely they've got to. How the hell would you risk going to court over an AI fake, you know, a false positive from AI? So I submitted this on the 3rd of September at 3:25 PM, reaffirming on the exact same grounds that this is a blatantly fraudulent claim. There we go. I'm just continuing to touch this up and make it even more decisively doubled down with absolute conviction. We have no record of this ever happening and no intent from any of the parties that this is permissible. Damn right. I think I worded that well as well. So you can rebuild my entire grounds, my entire rationale, as it puts it there, from everything I've provided so far, even though I don't have a perfect copy-paste, because I used a starter copy-paste, and I edited this and tried to touch it up. We're at 1600 characters, I'm trying to make the most of it. This is my screen recording of filing this dispute in real time, because once you've filed this, you can't even see it ever again. Alright, and then I submitted. Alright, the claimant now has 7 days to review your appeal. If they do not respond within 7 days, the claim will be automatically released. We'll send you an email to let you know the outcome. 7 days. Appeal under review expires in 7 days, so that was on the 3rd of September 2025. Appeal under review expires in 7 days. So it goes from dispute rejected to appeal under review. It expires in 7 days. Alright, and see, while I was doing this, I was contacting Jeff Van Dyke on Twitter to make him aware of this. Right as I submitted that, I did this. This is where it gets really good. So I found Jeff Van Dyke's latest tweet. It was on August the 31st, so it's only a few days earlier. And I said, I got a copyright claim from the Orchard Music who are claiming the distribution rights for your work on Shogun 1, this track. And I posted that amazing demo track. I even timestamped it. See, when I hear this, I immediately am just reminded of a 25-year memory of, you know, those like when you're in a commander tent. I think you even see this on Game of Thrones. It's like you have a map and then you have pieces that are moved around to represent the armies, which is what Total War eventually did, now that I think about it. You don't really make these connections properly in your mind, but there's I don't know where I would find the trailer for Shogun 1, but when I hear that, I'm just reminded of the part of the trailer for the full game where you see the guy with his armoured gloved hand picking up the piece that represents the army and moving it to another province, you know, just slamming it down. And then it shows you where is it? There's like a classic Shogun CD case picture of the war mask, you know, like the logo for Shogun Total War. That's what I'm reminded of when I hear this. It's really good. This is actual fucking music. It's not this mangled dissonance garbage that the guy publishes, so it's just blatantly not his, you know? Like he definitely didn't come up with this. Even if I had no knowledge of Jeff Van Dyke, I would just be able to tell that guy and this are just totally divorced. Yeah, so I pointed out that track, and I mentioned, and are attributing it to a thief called Sven Christiansen, and I even linked to the exact stolen, like this should have, I did my best to just make sure he's aware of exactly how grievous this is. And see, if I was Jeff Van Dyke, this would have pissed me right off. And to prove that I'm not just trying to make this up, like I put the actual screenshots of this stuff. Like I showed the match that made me aware of this. And the Orchard Music. He could have googled Orchard Music as well. And I showed the take action. And then I showed another example. Now there's a Roosevelt speech edited over Shogun 1 music. And this guy is copyright claiming people on YouTube with all of this garbage. And he is, look, it's on YouTube still. Look. It's not been taken down. The Orchard Music should be all over this after they lost.
This premeditated invasion. The American people in there.
And that's the pre-battle build-up before you give your first attack order, or you know, it's like after the deployment screen, you've given a movement order, but there's no combat yet, and you hear this.
Invasion. The American people in their righteous fight.
And that's stolen as well from Jeff Van Dyke. Is this a joke? Look at the state of this, honestly. And then he said, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm taking appropriate action. And he meant that. He's filed copyright takedowns, I think DMCA claims on YouTube, Spotify, Deezer. And I was really relieved when I saw this because obviously, like, this like, see, if I hadn't heard back from the Orchard Music yet, I would have still been really glad to see this because it absolutely means that I'm in the right and that this Sven Christiansen person unambiguously has no involvement whatsoever with the creation of these works. Like, he isn't some little music technician guy in the background that had split rights or anything like that. He's just a LARPer, a schizo Scandinavian LARPer that just played the game and thought, oh, I like this so much, I want to steal it and pretend I had something to do with it. So that was on 4th of September at 8 AM. And when did I get... Look at that, that was 3:27 PM. The following claim on the video has been appealed. Alright, so that's me appealing it. That was at 3:27 PM that I appealed it. And then at 7:04 AM, they decided to release the claim on the video. So on September the 4th at 7 AM, they released the claim. And then at on September 7:47 AM and 7:47 AM. 7:04 AM, 7:47 AM. So they released the claim, and then 40 minutes later, Jeff Van Dyke replied to me saying that he's taken action. So later on in the day, at 11 AM, I'd gotten to my computer and realised on my emails that they released the claim. So I mentioned to Jeff, they released the claim this time. I had to input my name and address and sign my name, give the Orchard Music my information in order to not lose this outright. If they escalated again their decision, it would have given me a copyright strike while they filed for court, which is true. And I filed the paste that I had because I didn't have a copy paste of the whole thing. And I gave him the email that I got. And then he asked me which video did they make the claim on. And I said, I can't DM you on here. Do you have an email address I can send everything to? Because I don't want to publish an archive that's raw, that's like 9 hours long, that I'm probably going to delete at some point. I don't want to make that public. So I messaged with him, and I'm not going to share the DMs, but I gave him everything I said I would here. I gave him the YouTube link. I unlisted the video from private. Because it's been private this whole time, by the way. It was never even meant to be viewed by anyone. So, Orchard Music were fucking stupid for even bothering to do this. If they'd even looked at the fucking video, they would have seen it was just a raw archive. I'll send you the YouTube link and change the video name from private to unlisted so you can see it and use it, and I'll give you the timestamp so you can find the exact place. And that's to give him whatever he needs in terms of being able to see that they are abusing copyright to try and claim this stuff all over YouTube, just mass claiming this shit, so he can get really annoyed and take action and be able to establish that in any of his claims that is malicious. So Jeff has filed takedowns on YouTube, on Deezer, something I'd never used before. I hope he's managed to find all of them, like get hits on everything. He's managed to file takedowns on Spotify, which we have some evidence has already been done, because these 3 tracks, which I think are also just blatantly stolen, they've already been hit, I think. They've already been buried and on YouTube. So I'm really grateful to Jeff here. He's acted perfectly this whole time, and he's actively around and able to fight, to protect his work and stop these companies getting between him as the creator and the musician and presumably the distributor of this fucking music and the fans of the music that are just using it along with the games to try and give it the attention it deserves for how good it is and how well it was utilised alongside these games. As you saw the example with my Cannon Massacre video, like there's this video would have been so much lesser if I didn't have this track. And I remember I used, like, some of the Total War soundtracks as my phone alarm, like, just like a, morning alarm when I'm waking up to go to uni. I had like, even tracks that are not that utilised in the game, they're still really good. Like, I remember the launcher, pre-Steam era, whenever you launch Medieval 2, you would hear this track here. Like, there's a sort of sad lamentation, and as this person here says, hauntingly subtle. Like, you're about to begin war to control Europe in this place. All the politicking, your princess is being assassinated, all this stuff, it's... Like everything he's composed is an absolute banger. Even the stuff like the Americas for Medieval 2, it's a perfect fit. Let's get this one as well. This is one of my favourites. This is really good. Like, can you imagine? Like, you've already had Shogun 2 and it's really good, and now we have a Fall of the Samurai expansion. And this expansion was what made me want to start doing Total War for YouTube. So you've got Japan, except instead of Sengoku, now you're into the, what's it called? The Meiji Restoration era, and you have cannons and Gatling guns and line infantry. And then this starts playing. Like, you're about to start your first battles in Fall of the Samurai, your first battles ever, and this starts playing in 2012. By Jeff Van Dyke, not fucking Sven. Even the rising and dropping of the piano, whatever it is, what's that instrument there? It's like a piano sort of thing. Even that is just perfect. You know, it's so dramatic. This song captures the lead up to a battle so well, it's really quite stirring. Excuse me, this is a composition, not a song. Always a nice background track to Legends Fall of Samurai battles. Yeah, that's it. Like, we are playing the games, and we are bringing attention to how good this fucking music is. Like, see these Warhammer people that have never even played these older games, they'll hear that these amazing soundtracks, and they'll just think quality. Just quality. Like, you don't get this kind of quality in the soundtracks after Jeff Van Dyke stopped doing Total War. Like that. This is part of why this annoys me so much. It's another assault on the classic amazing Total War games in that whole era. It's just another way that it's just getting ground down by time and by malicious actors. It's just so horrible. Like these soundtracks can still draw me to these older games to this day. I always felt the music conveyed the end of an age feel that Fall of the Samurai seemed to go for. Yeah, it's like we're going into the future and it's chaotic and we don't know what's going to happen. It's like, it's just pure tension. It's cataclysmic. Like, you know what Attila was going for with apocalyptic? That's kind of like what this is leading into. Even the style of the music's totally changed from Shogun. Like, it's a lot faster paced. You know, it's really energetic. Oh, it's just perfect. It's so good. Alright, what's another one? Shogun 1 OST. I think I played a couple of them because they got stolen. But I think Jeff Van Dyke won awards for the Mongol Invasion soundtrack. Soundtracks. Total War OST. This has the whole Mongol soundtrack. It's really good though, and the Shogun 1 and the Shogun 2 soundtracks have a lot of overlap, but there's still a lot of different tracks on there. Everyone, like, I'm not talking about Rome Total War because everyone knows that, like that's the one everyone knows best, but it's just been great all the way through. Medieval 2 soundtrack. Yeah, there's one here that's just absolutely thunderous and fucking gets you right in there. I'm trying to remember, I would probably recognise it by name. Duke of Death, I don't think it's that one. Destiny, it might be Destiny. Let's have a look. Yeah, of course. The progression here is just perfect. It's even got hints of Rome Total War still in there. With these sort of... what is this, harpsichord or something? I really don't know. I'm not a musician. I like this descending part as well. It's just perfect video game music. It's just so perfect. What the fuck? The idea that someone out there can steal this shit and pretend it's theirs is just disgusting to me, as someone that's fucking appreciated it for so fucking long. I'm glad fucking Jeff is pissed off at this as much as I seem to be, and that he can sit there and, even to this day, file takedowns on this shit and protect his work and let us keep using it alongside the games without being harassed by these scammer companies. I really hate this shit. Like, there's something has to change with how YouTube works and how these companies can keep getting away with this. We need a class action lawsuit. Like, Jeff Van Dyke can get in there as one of them. He's been pilfered. Like, he's had his pocket picked by these scumbag companies, the Orchard Music. They've been unjustly enriching themselves this whole time. I'm going to find the legislation. US Copyright Act 1988, 88 or 86, 1988. Copyright Designs and Patent Acts. Copy fraud. Let's find copy fraud, because that's what this is. I've known the term copy fraud for years because of this. Copy fraud. A copy fraud is a false copyright claim by an individual or institution with respect to content that is in the public domain. Well, it's not even in public domain. I suppose it's de facto, because Jeff Van Dyke and people like him are so nice, you know? They're so understanding, and they appreciate how things work, and they understand the fucking tide just rises and brings everyone up with it. Such claims are unlawful, at least under US and Australian copyright law, because material that's not copyrighted is free for all to use. De facto is modify and reproduce. Copy fraud also includes overreaching claims by publishers, museums and others, as where a legitimate copyright owner knowingly or with constructive knowledge claims rights beyond what the law allows. Constructive knowledge? Willful ignorance? Holy shit. Look at that. Absolutely. Deliberately decides not to make any further inquiries. They did that every step of the way until they finally gave up. Jesus, absolutely. Alright, let's find this improper use. False claims of copyright. Okay, Mazone notes that although the US government protects copyrights, it offers little protection to works in the public domain. Wait. False claims of copyright over public domain works, copy fraud is common. The profits earned by publishers falsely claiming copyrights have been immense. Section 506C of the United States Code, Title 17, prohibits 3 distinct acts. 1. Placing a false notice of copyright on an article. So they've broken the US law right there. That's a false notice of copyright on an article. 2. Publicly distributing articles which bear a false copyright notice. Well, see this stolen shit here? I suppose this does, because it says trademark Sven Christiansen. This is not trademarked by Sven Christiansen. This is a stolen... This is thievery. That's what this is. And then you've got provided to YouTube by the Orchard Enterprises, trademark Sven Christiansen. It's not trademarked. Fucking lies. He owns no trademarks or copyrights over this whatsoever. He has no rights over this. This work was created by Jeff Van Dyke for the game Strung Into a War. The Orchard Music is now upholding false copyright claims because this guy uploaded this in 2019. Well, it was uploaded by the Orchard Enterprises themselves, so they're breaking the law. And 3, important for public distribution articles which bear a false copyright notice. The prosecution must prove that the act alleged was committed with fraudulent intent. This was absolutely done with fraudulent intent. They are a fraudulent by intent company by design. Violations of sections 506C and 506D are each punishable by a fine of up to $2,500. Alright, so how many instances of this fraud would they be liable for payout with regards to? No private right of action exists under either of these provisions. No companies have been prosecuted for violating this law. Brilliant. That's great, isn't it? Yeah, we need new laws for this, don't we? Jesus, few people are competent to give legal advice on the copyright status of material. That's absolutely a problem here, because it's just YouTubers just winging it, isn't it? Trying to protect themselves against bullshit. And few people willing to risk a lawsuit to resist the fraudulent licensing fees that resellers demand. Jesus. What is the law for this? Like, can anyone just go around just mass claiming like this? There's some sort of legal loophole that these scammer companies are using. The Orchard Music. Let's have a look. Orchard Music. The Orchard Music. It's an American company, so they're liable under American laws. Why is there no controversy section on this article? There's no section on false claims. The Orchard Music, Orchard Orchard music, scam. Scam, Sonny the Orchard, no. The Orchard music pending class action lawsuit. The Orchard step in completely new level of scam. They started uploading bogus content ID claims, claiming sounds from movies. They literally cut 50 to 80 seconds from any movie already on YouTube, even with actors' voices, and put it as their music. I have still proof of this. Jesus. We're the movie distribution company and tired with bogus claims from the Orchard music. They claim music from many of our movies and never release the claims. Jesus Christ. They're absolute scammers. Look at this. And it goes back to 2013. Let's have a look. 2013. Look at this, 9 years ago. I have several videos with over 1 million views. A song provided by YouTube's library from Unsorted Music has been claiming revenue of videos that have this copyright-free YouTube music in it. If you dispute the claim, they drop it. If you don't, they keep the revenue. I'm starting to think it's a scam, and they just hope people don't dispute the claims. Absolutely, holy shit. Most people in my position would not have bothered. What a joke. This is a video I sent to the YouTube's CEO explaining the situation. Oh my god, please don't be down. What a joke. Terminated. Oh my god. Fucking hell, 9 years. But this is it. They're just a scam company. They've been scamming for like fucking 10 years. Update on the bogus copyright claim for the Orchard music. They've reinstated the invalid claim, once again abusing the content ID system for own gain. And a lot of people are going to give up without even filing anything. And then after you dispute it, look, I don't want to risk my clear account status and streaming capabilities. I wrote them an email and now I have to wait another 20 days for an answer if there comes any. Filing fake DMCA takedowns is illegal as a legit business, they're very unlikely to do that. In the worst case scenario, you can just appeal the strike, as I said. Of course, I don't suggest doing any of those if you don't 100% have rights to use that content. Man, see, a lot of people are just defending the company as the ones being attacked as well. That's going to happen a lot of the time. They're so scared that they're willing to make excuses for the company to defend them. They're abusing the YouTube system. They never released the claim from first appeal, and they're known for false copyright claims. Jesus, and then people are having to fucking email this stupid fucking inbox that they've got. It's such a joke. Don't bother emailing the company with anything except abuse. Don't do that. Dispute it directly with YouTube, who are the intermediary that it gets handled with. Anything you send to their email address is probably going to just be used against you in court, assuming they're stupid enough to take it that far. Just go through YouTube, make sure they're actually being fucking disgusting scammers, which they usually are, and then go through YouTube's tools directly and then wait for them to go to court. YouTube is the middleman that has to stay neutral. They have to assume safe harbour status. So it's all going to be through YouTube and then the court system. But it's never going to go to court. They're going to just admit that they're scamming disgusting grifters every time. Yeah, I hate this company and I hate all these companies that do this stuff. And this video is being uploaded to educate people and provide precedent here to show what happens every step of the way. 10 years ago, why does YouTube let the Orchard get away with an obvious scam? Very often automatically claims the copyright music they don't own. So why did YouTube let them do this? Because they're safe harbour status, they have to. That's the DMCA Act, safe harbour status. They've got no choice but to stay neutral. When there's clearly something wrong, it just doesn't make any sense. It stops people from monetizing and even uploading videos, so YouTube basically keeps themselves from making money because another company makes false claims all the time. I hate these guys. I fight them with them all the time. It's ridiculous. I have 2 full licenses for music that I pay around $200 a year for. Man. Alright, well that's it for this. I've documented this whole thing. This company makes me sick. This scam makes me sick. Publishing this video in the public interest so people can see exactly what's going on here and have an actual case study on this disgusting scam. And I'm adding this to my playlist of curb stomps, victories, fucking mic drops against these scam copyright companies.